Hello and welcome to my new and first podcast / YouTube channel called Moor Chat. My name is Stokoe Jo and I have lived in Garrigill since 2019. I have various strings to my bow and fingers in pies, including an Airbnb, walking and swimming business, amongst other bits and bobs. One thing I am not, though, is internet or tech savvy, but what I do have is an ability to chat shit. Which brings me to mention this podcast may have swearing, so if you're not a fan, just move on or ignore it. Thanks to him indoors, Andy Moz, for the intro music and editing. There'll be no intentional controversy, but if you do take offence, again, you're just welcome to move on. The aim of the pod is to meet a different character, person or group of people who live or do business on Alston Moor. Every couple of months / season, I'll change the theme of the pod. My first theme will be women in business. Other themes will include music, community, heritage, environment, health and fitness, and food. So if you're keen to take part and potentially make a tit of yourself, get in touch, because I'd love to hear from you. Again, I make no apologies for the content. The idea is my own, and myself and a whole load of business savvy women are about to take up some space in your eardrums. So grab a cuppa and I'll introduce my first guest. So I thought I'd have a little bit of fun with our intros. So I'm going to introduce our guest today by using the power of AI. I'm not a strong advocate of AI. I generally won't use it in the creativity uses, but I just thought it would be a good way to, instead of rewriting the script, of putting in this person's name, you can see on the screen, and see what AI had to say about them. So she is a specialist in heritage crafts and an expert in chair caning based in the market town of Alston. She is best known for running the cane workshop, where she restores and recanes traditional rattan furniture using historical methods. Yeah. The cane workshop, founded by Folkard. This business is located in the historic 400-year-old Stokoe House in Alston. She transitioned into this career full-time after originally studying fine art sculpture. Artisanal preserves. Under the brand Stokoe House 1611, she produces award-winning artisanal jams, chutneys and marmalades. And in early 2026, drumroll, she received a double gold award for her marmalade. Television appearances include in February 2025, featuring in an episode of the BBC programme Antiques Road Trip, where she taught experts Phil Serrell and Natasha Raskin-Sharp the art of chair caning. Let me introduce to you our very own Lady Marmalade, Louise Folkard.
Hello. Well, that's pretty true. I don't think there's any nonsense in there.
Really?
Really?
Oh my God.
They've got it right. I must have had the right information on my website so that it's dredged.
Exactly. I think if you don't bullshit the websites, then AI won't bullshit either.
Yeah, no, that's all true.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a bit weird to hear myself like that, but yeah.
Excellent. Well, I mean, it will be quite funny if they do come up with some bullshit in future, but I'm glad that's all true. So, tell us a little bit about how you came to be here then, award-winning Lady Marmalade.
How we came to be in Alston is all because of the potter, which is Sylvia Macro, which is what my shop used to be, was her ceramic studio. But I worked for her when I was 15, and she gave me my first Saturday job in Newcastle at Blackfriars Pottery. So every Saturday I went and decorated pots with Auntie Sale. She's not a real auntie, but you know what I mean. It's an auntie. And we kept in touch, and she came to our wedding, and every time after university holidays I went back to the pottery and did the summer shift, and we just totally kept in touch. And so then me and Matthew are in Manchester in the games industry, the computer games, and we were doing that for about 15 years, constant redundancies. And Auntie Sale said, she rang us up one day and said, "Do you want to buy my shop in Alston?"
No way.
And me and Matthew went, we had a bottle of wine, and we rang her back and said,
Always helps.
Why not? I was about to be made redundant, literally in the next 2 months. So we were like, we either wait for the redundancy money, or we just go now. This is an opportunity we couldn't not do. So we went, just go. So that's why we're here. So we bought Syl's ceramic shop, and then she moved over the road and opened what was then Gallery her new gallery.
Yeah,
that she's
which
only
is now
just
cobbled.
shut. Yeah, it's now the cafe.
Ah, so
So it's all Auntie Sill's fault.
I know, isn't it? So Stokoe House was Auntie Sill's.
Yep.
Oh,
Before that, like years ago, it was an antique shop called the Peddler's Pack, but it's been all sorts. It's been a house shop over 400 years.
Oh,
you know,
wow.
It's always been something or other.
So, so we could say that the universe intervened at a time that was right,
Yes,
and brought you to Alston
I think
Moor.
that's what happens to most people here,
Yeah.
isn't it?
I think so.
Unless you are like third generation farmer or whatever, there is some serendipitous event that happens, and you end up plonked in the middle of
or
Alston.
you just can't afford to go anywhere else.
Well, there is that. Because we halved our bills moving here. We went down to one salary. We knew that we could do that. No more commuting. Both of us were commuting every day.
Yeah.
Now we lived in the shop. We didn't drive anywhere. One salary. Hence, then child came along.
Yes.
Which we could do, which we would never have done in Manchester.
And this was pre-COVID.
Yes.
At a time when people generally didn't work from home that much. Anyway, so it was kind of like a really good time for you to start doing that.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Okay. And how did you get into marmalade?
Marmalade, that's another accident, and I'll blame another local for that. So that's Mary and Jeff of Cumberland Mustard.
Yes.
So when we moved to Alston, we obviously didn't really know anyone apart from Sil and Ray Macro, the potters. So we spent about a month in the pubs, meeting everyone, and I got a little part-time job.
Just permanently in the pub.
from basically 12 lunch till tea time, because there was there's different crowds at different o'clocks. So we're like, right, well, we're there for a certain o'clock, there for another one. Honestly, we spent so much money, but we met everyone.
Yeah.
And we met Mary and Jeff from that. In fact, I think they were the first people we spoke to in the Cumberland, because we'd been there a few nights, and then suddenly they go, "Are you two on holiday here?" We went, "No, we've bought a house." And as soon as we said we'd bought Stokoe, they went, "Get them a drink."
Yeah. We've got newbies.
Yeah. So then it was like, right, so I started labelling for her for a bit of pocket money and for something to do because it took a year for her to actually buy the house. We were renting it while we were living there off the potter because it's commercial, it took a year to iron out. So I couldn't really do my caning straight off.
Right.
So I started labelling mustard just as a job. And that's kind of, so I saw how Mary and Jeff, their little operation in their kind of prefab down their work.
I feel there's a pattern developing.
There is a
here.
pattern. And I don't know how, but I got given a great big baby-sized lump of fennel one day. I think from Mary and Jeff, I'm not sure about that. Like it was honestly the size of a baby. And I was like, oh, I'll make some chutney.
Yeah.
So I just found a recipe, made this chutney up, borrowed all the Mary's and Jeff's jars, because of course, I was like, oh, I know where to get some jars from.
Yeah.
And it was quite popular. I'm like, all right, well, I'll do some else. So I kept kind of begging
Were you just giving that away then? You were like, I've made all this chutney, do you want some?
Yeah, it was just like friends and
like
family.
most people do, yeah.
And obviously I kept saying, begging and borrowing for bits of like, can I have some more lids, Mary, and can I have jars and all of this. And then the summer fruit comes along. I was like, well, I'll make a bit of that as well. Now I know how many jars I can do and all of this. And I had 2 jam pans. And Mary goes, oh, you want to get in that marmalade festival that happens every year? I'm like, well, what's the marmalade festival? And she's like, the one there at Dalemain. I'm like, well, where's Dalemain? She's like, literally, like, it's 20 minutes away. So I was like, all right then. So I did, and I got a bronze.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh.
With marmalade?
With marmalade, because it's only, And I went, all right then. So I did it the following year, and I got a gold as a homemaker, because I'm not registered business. This is just me in the kitchen kind of
What year
on.
was this then?
That was, I think it was 10 years ago. So exactly 10 years ago, I got the gold as a homemaker.
Yeah.
There is a funny story to that I probably shouldn't tell you, but I might do. So,
well, you can tell us later. We can edit it out if we need to.
Okay.
So tell us now.
Right. So, there's different categories.
This might be, by the way,
controversial. I'll get my award taken away from me.
The award coming with.
I won't get my new one taken away from me, but maybe retrospectively, this one from 10 years ago.
Okay.
So there's lots of different categories: man-made marmalade, marmalade from blah blah blah, spicy marmalade.
Man-made or homemade?
Man-made.
Oh right, okay.
Marmalade made by a man.
Oh, see.
But there's like octogenarian marmalade. There's lots of different, because it's like Girl Guide marmalade.
Yes.
So one of them was campanology, and I was like, well, I know the bell ringer.
Right.
I was like, I know the bell ringer, and it said get your church involved. So I was like, so I downloaded the orange and lemons music, oranges and lemons, and I was like, So I went to Josephine, the bell ringer, and went, can you ring this? And all the churches in the country were going to ring it like on the same day. And that was getting your church. And they loved the music and they kept it on their repertoire. So I was like, well, I've done that. So this was not done on purpose.
Right.
I was like, I've got my church involved. I'm entering the marmalade into that category. Well, not a lot of people did enter that category, unbeknownst to us. And when we went to collect my gold award certificate, I opened the, a Dalemain. They went, oh, you're the campanologist. and Matthew kind of shoved me. And I went, oh, no, I got my friend to do it. And Matthew's like flashing, like, and I went, oh, anyway, yeah, right. And he's like, Lou,
were you supposed to be?
Well, it didn't say that.
Oh.
It didn't. They've changed the wording now.
Oh.
But yeah, so I think, because there was only about 8 jars in that category, that's why I got the gold.
No, you got the gold because yours was the best jar in that category.
Yeah, but there wasn't many. When there's like 3,000 jars in
But
total,
you may not have been eligible for that category.
I may
Is that
not
what
have
you're
been.
saying?
Now we look back and think.
I don't think they can take
didn't
an
do it on
award off you
purpose.
10 years later.
We didn't fleece it on purpose.
No.
But we felt really bad afterwards.
Did you give Josephine a jar?
I don't think I did. I think
Josephine, we owe you a jar of marmalade.
And Matthew keeps ribbing about me. It's like, Louise, I'm like, I didn't.
Listen, there's nothing on AI that says you're a campanologist, you're safe. It's fine.
Exactly. So, and then, all right, so I got, and I was like, right, okay, I must be doing something right here. So I then looked at how to get your own business and get the kitchen vetted by the council, which is a doddle because it's the lowest risk category. It's sugar, boiling and glass. There's no dairy, there's no meat to worry about, there's nothing.
Preserves by nature.
It's the lowest risk thing. So basically, as long as you've got a dishwasher and you can keep things clean, you're on a winner. It's not very hard, and it's really people. But you've got to work out your labels and there's stipulations and all of that.
Yeah.
So that's how I started. Yeah.
So you then got you became a business with your marmalade, and then you got your business use at the building, I assume, at Stokoe House.
Yeah.
And then is that when you started caning again?
Well, I've been caning kind of all the time since we got here, just on and off around bringing up a child who's now 13, and I thought I was going to do, when I first got here, we thought we were going to do courses straight away. But by the time we'd actually got the shop going and running and getting the customer repairs doing, and then I fell pregnant, courses were never going to happen. So I've waited kind of 12 years for plan A to kind of come back round. Because now he's big enough, don't have to be at home as much, so I can be in the shop more for longer days, so that I can teach for a full day.
Right.
So that's why I can do it now.
Okay, so for those who don't understand what that is, explain.
Okay, so people call it like if you've got a Berger suite. I reweave the very fine, it's like a Star of David pattern out of what could look like linguine. It's nice.
So you can eat it as well.
But it's a very, very labour-intensive process that you can't cheat at. You've got to do it strand by strand by strand. And there's 6 different ways to create the pattern. You have to do it 6 times, and then you've got the whole thing.
And you've before the courses come in, because they still haven't come in, have they?
They're coming. They start the fair. First one's in April, I think.
You think?
Yes. I don't know if anyone's booked on that one yet, though.
Okay. People, how do they find out?
Well, yes, go to the Cane Workshop on Tinterwobble, and there is a page on my website for courses, and you can see the drop down for the dates and pick a date that you like. And if there isn't a date you like, just email me anyway, because I'm happy to do it.
Excellent. So people can learn from the expert and double gold winning by marmalade winner to cane, and you also do people's cane work.
Yeah, I've got a 9-month queue of customer repairs that I slowly just kind of go through. There's not many people in the country do it, so they find me. So everything just gets kind of put in the background, and I just slowly go through my tickets and get in touch with people. And as their ticket's coming up, I email them and say, I think it's time for you to drop it off in Alston. And it's great because, of course, we're beside the lakes. So it doesn't matter where people have come from. They'll organise a trip to drop it off, have a wee holiday, or go and visit a friend, and then in a month or a few months later.
Yeah.
And they'll do the same again and collect it. So it really doesn't matter being in Alston, what I do.
And everybody's just really like, because you're one of the few people that do it, everybody's really patient and they're like, yeah, no, whenever.
Exactly.
Yeah, brilliant. So out of the two businesses, does one ever have to take priority?
So yeah, that's what I'm juggling at the moment. So I knew that marmalade season shuts off any cane work for July and February because I've got to deal with all the fresh seville. So my house looks like a greengrocer's and I can't get to the shop. But that doesn't matter because the shop's too cold to weave in. So this is good. Now I know, just don't accept any work and tell the weaving customers that I'm not going to do it January, February and probably March. And I'll reopen the shop in March when it gets a bit warmer anyway. By then I've dealt with all the oranges. August and July are also time because I'm out picking the summer fruit. So, but it's school holidays as well. So I have to kind of wipe off July and August because if I've got to go and get the raspberries, I've got to get them. They're not going to wait.
Yeah. Super. So we've established that you've got like this pattern, like a calendar that you have to work by, depending on food, depending on the awards. And depending on how cold your hands are.
Yes, how cold my hands are. And so on a normal everyday week, when it's not too cold, etc., etc., I'll stay at home and cook the preserves Monday, Tuesday, and then the rest of the week I'll be in the shop weaving.
Right.
So obviously my shop's shut quite a lot of time for when people. So I've took the opening hours off because there's nothing worse than saying you're opening, you're not, blah blah blah. But everyone who wants to buy my jams and chutneys, when my shop's shut, because obviously I supply everything, they're all over the road at Alston Whole Foods.
Yes.
So they, you just literally across the road and they stock everything because it makes so much sense because I'm not open a lot of the time because I'm making it.
And if anybody's listening not on the Moor.
Oh, well, there's a website.
Right.
Oh, yeah, there's two websites.
Right.
So you've got the Cane Workshop if you want to get creative and do some caning, or you've got stokoehouse.co.uk if you want to go online and buy my double gold award winning, the best marmalade in the world at the moment.
In the world.
Yes, all available to buy. There's lots of jars. I've been very busy.
And it is very nice. Occasionally we might do Lou a favour. And or we might have a birthday and we ensure that we get marmalade.
Yes, it's always. I can't give it to my family much now.
Can you not? Why not?
They're fed up with it.
No.
My mum's like, no.
I just always think there's never enough in a jar.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Not because of the price, because it's perfectly well priced. Just because there's never enough and we go through it so
They
fast.
are quite small jars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you considering doing larger jars?
I do some
addict?
people catering tubs that are addicts.
Oh.
Yeah, the fennel and apple chutney. I have a local lady she is basically addicted to it. I'll not name her name, but she knows who she is.
She's listening.
And they go away on they've got like a big mobile home, like a motorhome. Yeah.
Oh right, the people who buy them.
I give them a litre tub for their travels.
Brilliant.
So when they're around France and Germany, they've still got.
Brilliant. Well, we'll have to remember that next time we go.
Yeah, you guys.
Spain.
I can kit you out.
And buy some Seville marmalade.
Bucket of marmalade.
It's like Santa Arabs springs to mind. But no, we've never tasted marmalade as good. So I'm going to have a couple of questions now that are more general for every guest I have.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll start to see a theme developing. Obviously, this first theme that we're doing is women in business. So I suppose specifically for that theme, I'm interested to know what you find most challenging as a woman in business on Alston Moor.
That's really hard to pinpoint. I guess for me, it's been juggling bringing up child with basically two businesses and obviously running the house as well that you usually do. So that's another job.
Adopting stereotypical norms, you mean?
Yes, like every woman. But it's learning to be fluid, isn't it? Kind of, you know that the setup at this current time will change, and the next year you'll get a different pattern of what as things change and childs grow and dependencies change. Yeah. So that was quite tricky. I mean, my mum still laughs at me because when I was pregnant with Thane, she's like, what are you going to do with the weaving? And I was like, oh, I'm going to have him strapped in like a papoose and I'm going to be weaving. And she's just like, yeah, right, it won't happen. She was dead right, it didn't happen. I didn't pick up anything for about a year, you know, but I had the best intentions. I was going to, you know, like most people, I can conquer the world, I'm pregnant. And you're like, no, I can't.
Well, I can only imagine, but yes, totally. So, and if we took away the woman bit, what do you find most challenging about business on the Moor? So
I guess everything you've got to do online, which is fine.
You mean you feel like everything's got to be online to make
no,
it a
like
success?
kind of even just getting packaging boxes.
Oh, right, okay.
You know, I've got to go online and search for the right size box and blah, blah, blah. You can't just, well, you could nip into Newcastle. Well, that's an hour's travel there. So, you know, it's a 2-hour round trip. So you end up just going on the internet and looking for everything, food suppliers, so limiting in a way, because I'd prefer to buy face-to-face off people. But the benefit of Alston, because it's so quirky, there's so many people who do their own businesses and you can pally up with people. Like there's a chap I know in Whitfield who works at the Sill where I supply the jams and chutneys in the cafe. So he comes to my house and we load up his boot because he works there. So, you know, Brilliant. Off they go and I give him like freebies like you and everyone else. So he's happy. And again, Mary and Jeff Mustard, we kind of piggyback each other's orders sometimes because we use the same size jars. So finding other people that do a little bit the same.
So would you say that's, as opposed to a challenge, that's one of the positives of living on the Moor then? You kind of have to work together?
Yes, and because you know everyone, you know what they do.
Yeah.
If you were in the middle of Manchester, you wouldn't know there was another jam maker down the road or a thing. But because you know where they all are here, so I rang up the distribution centre the other day to work out how to get all this marmalade to a very, very fancy shop in London in a few weeks.
That we're not going to name just in case.
And,
but everybody knows.
So I rang him up and said, I don't know what to do. I've never sent 300 jars anywhere before. I post off 2 in a shoebox. You know, I've kind of got to upscale pretty quickly here and I don't know what I'm doing. And he went, well, what have you got? And I went, well, it's this. And it's and he went, but I know the Cumberland mustard. And he went, oh, so is it the same jars as that? I said, it's the same. He said, right, just copy what Mary does. I went, right, okay, well, I'm seeing her tomorrow. And he said, oh, I also do Mr. Vicky's as well. He said, they're in the same size jars. So he knew what to tell me how to do it because everyone's connected.
Well, you're not born with the knowledge, and and we're always in every walk of life having to draw on people's knowledge, aren't we? And sort of use, and that's all part of the collaboration, isn't it?
And it's definitely a bonus of being in Alston that you get those contacts. I think a lot easier.
Good, and I think we're going to be talking to quite a lot of other people in that, and as I said, I think we're going to be hearing the similar thing, a similar story. It'd be interesting to know if anybody thinks the complete opposite of me.
But then why are they in business?
It's a chuffing nightmare. I have to talk to Lou every day.
It's not, and like I say, even the cane customers, it doesn't matter that we're in Alston. They'll come from Manchester to Glasgow, to Alston.
Because it's a trip out.
Doesn't matter exactly.
Yeah. Good, because that helps people like me and other businesses as well.
Because when they come,
accommodation providers.
I farm them off to go there for tea and a wee. Do you want a little walk with the dog?
Tea and a wee.
You know, you've always got to have tea and a wee.
Tea and a wee. I remember doing it. I had an interview once many years ago, and somebody was saying, "So what's the most important thing?" And I was just giving all these like fancy answers, and he was like, "No, people need to go to the toilet. That's the most important thing." Yeah. So just bear that in mind. Anyway, so you've got the challenge is our locality, which also brings about the pros.
Yeah, it does.
Knowing everybody and the kind of localization of it. Oh, that was what I wanted to go back to. I said, where else did you get jars? You mentioned online, and then accidentally you mentioned that you supply the Sill.
Yes, so the cafe is all my jams and chutneys, which is brilliant, and they have a limited range for sale as well. And the Kirkstyle, the award-winning Kirkstyle pub in Slaggyford, it's my breakfast marmalade at the table, which is very nice. And the Cumberland pub in Alston has my marmalade for their breakfast, and loads and loads of B&Bs and hotels in the area have all my mini jars, and because it says made in Alston all over it, it's really good advertised. So they love putting things like that for the welcome packs. So
and do you
everywhere.
find people come into the shop then and say, oh, I tasted this at the place I stayed?
Yeah.
Right, so keep doing that, peeps.
Yeah, it really
Brilliant.
works.
Brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
So, moving away from business, what's your favourite thing about Alston Moor? Or living on Alston Moor?
I think it gives you a real, to me, it gives me a sense of calm, which you probably weren't expecting. But, like, however rubbish your day is, even if you, like, and however rubbish the weather is, you can get in your car or go for a walk, and it's so beautiful. You've chilled out in 5 minutes. And you can't get that anywhere else. Well, yeah, maybe some very, very few places.
But nowhere else you've lived?
No.
No. I agree.
And it's free.
And the weather's never shit, so I don't know what you're talking about.
You know what I mean? Horizontal rain.
It's always beautiful.
The snow today.
As we wake up to snow after, what was it, about 18 degrees yesterday at one point. Funny. And what would you say are the challenges of Alston Moor? Not in business, but for you as an individual.
I guess I'm not a massive confident driver, and you've got to drive really to be here. So, you know, I kind of persuade the husband to do lots of scary journeys that I'm too scared to do. Snow, you've got to be a bit snow confident. You've got to be savvy, haven't you? You've got to be...
But do you think it's also like that's kind of like good in some ways because it makes you do stuff that you wouldn't have normally done in a comfort zone, in a kind of an area where things were more convenient?
I think so.
You don't have to agree with me.
What kind of thing?
Well, you know, like sometimes if we're made to do, for example, if Matt wasn't available and you had to drive somewhere,
I would do it.
Then you would do it.
And
actually, once you've done something, that makes you feel pretty good about yourself.
It does, yeah. And I have, come home and gone, I've just done that. And he's like, I know.
and you're like, give myself a pat on the back. Yeah.
So, but...
do you find that about your businesses as well? Do you sometimes like look at yourself like as if you were like looking at somebody else and think, wow?
Yeah, I mean, I still can't believe what I do is what I do. It's nuts. You know, on paper, why are you weaving and making jam? What planet, what school did you go to come out and end up doing that? You know?
And tell me, Louise, how has your degree in fine art sculpture?
Fine art sculpture, Wimbledon.
Yeah, how has that influenced your businesses today?
I'm quite handy with tools. It did teach me, you know, so I'm not, because when the furniture comes to me, it does come in lots of bits sometimes when they take the cake. So you've got to, it did give me a confidence in clonking things back together in a very professional way, obviously. I guess, you know, I do all the artwork for the labels and things. So having a good, and you've got to take your own publicity photos, you know, for image shots for the websites and the chairs. Yeah. So I think having a good eye and a trained eye to kind of know how things should be represented in an image is good. So I think it has done me good.
Well, and you can't school creativity. You are a creative, aren't you?
Yeah, I think if I'm not fiddling,
there's never going to be anything you're doing that's not creative, is there really? No. If you had a third business, what would it be?
Knitting socks.
Can you knit socks? Can I have a pair?
I'm in some now.
Amazing.
Yeah, I like knitting socks just because it challenges me. Because I'm like, turn that heel.
Not a euphemism. You would get on it somewhere.
But it chills me out as well because I can't just sit and do nothing. Yeah. So that I can sit watching the TV and knit at the same time.
Oh, you can do it without looking?
Well, no, I have to keep looking. Oh. So it's rubbish. I don't do subtitled things.
No.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, because I've tried crocheting and watching TV, but obviously I never get to watch TV because I can't crochet.
Well, I kind of know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Maybe you just...
Clearly. Well, if you're doing socks, you're a 4-needle...
Oh, no, this is on circular.
Oh. Mm. I don't even know how to make socks, you see. Anyway. We digress. Right, you've advertised your shit. That's what I've written down. Advertised your shit.
Quality items.
The final question I was going to ask because I think we've touched on it a little bit. Like, obviously we evolve, don't we, over time, and some of us have got degrees, some of us haven't, some of us got a couple, and we never use them, or we think we never use them, and then something comes up and we use it later down the line. But we evolve during time, through the years, we evolve. And what we thought was success, or what we wanted to look like success to look like when we were doing our degree, was very different to what it looks like now, I would say. What does success look like to you?
That's a really hard thing to answer.
Sorry. You could, I mean, you could reframe it like...
I guess I know I am successful because I've been given awards saying it is very good. So I can't say...
You've got external validation.
Yes, that's the word. Thank you. Also, the references I get off customers about the cane work and other professionals that give me validation that what I've done is a good job, and so I think that is to be recognised as good in your field. Definitely is what I would success.
And like you say, in your cane work, you are one of very, very few people who are doing that.
We're not in the red endangered zone, but we're on the outside of it in the Heritage Crafts Association. Brilliant place, go and look at that. So yeah, there's quite a lot of people do this, but it might be someone's nana in the garage. Well, maybe she's not in the garage because that'd be nasty and cold. Yeah. But they're not a professional caner. Yeah. So there's few kind of traditional, and luckily I've got the shop front. Again, not many of them do. There might be just hiding in a warehouse somewhere. Yeah. So I'm very lucky I've got that lovely shop front in Alston. Yeah. So people can come in and just watch me do it.
And so you've got external validation as a I suppose that's the traditional meaning of success, isn't it? What we think, what others think of us might look successful. So from the outside looking in, and especially in the days of social media, people look and see what success looks like is somebody who's winning double gold marmalade, best marmalade in the world, who's got a really successful caning business, has skills that other people just don't have. To me, that absolutely looks like success. But to you?
I think success is being happy in what you do. Yeah. I wouldn't do it if I didn't love it. Yeah. And I think you've got to love it. There must be something in me that likes repetition and pattern, and because from weaving to slicing marmalade or chopping onions, there is this constant that you're doing it the same, you do it the same again, again. And I love that. I think I could work in a fish finger factory. I would just be on the conveyor belt, just this. I'd be happy.
I don't think if you saw what happened to the fish before.
No, well, I'm a vegetarian, so that wouldn't happen. So yeah, I love what I do.
Like it plays to your like this obsessive routine.
That's my strengths, clearly.
And your creative strengths. Yeah.
So I found something that matches
the winning formula.
Yeah.
I think that.
Yeah, that's a nice way of saying it.
It's like the winning formula.
Yeah. Double gold with it.
Ding dong. She's amazing. She is our very own Lady Marmalade.
Thank you, Sock.
I didn't go in there. Rich said it the other day. I'm like, I'm using that.
Oh, someone yelled at it over the street the other day.
Brilliant.
I got yelled, "Oi, Lady Marmalade!"
Can't get away from it. And we've got a little bit of a fun little...
And now I've got an orange and an apple and a pear in my hair.
Just to prove
it. It's a nod to chutney and marmalade.
Thank you, Lou, for your time and your wisdom and your wise words and your wonderful marmalade.
Thank you for having me,
and skills that you bring to the Moor.
And your lovely music studio. It's amazing here.
Hello. Hopefully we'll get more people here to enjoy it.
I'm sure you will.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, if you've got this far, we've clearly done something right. So thanks for listening. Please now share, like, subscribe, follow, all that shenanigans. Comment. Feel free to comment, but only if you've got something nice to say. Don't want to see any nasty comments. And I'll also post the relevant links discussed below. If you'd like to take part in future episodes, please get in touch because there's always room for more chat.